This is my baby's car seat, smoking, because there is a mirror on the back of the seat so I can see her. And I just took her out of the seat and smelled smoke and saw the smoke coming up. And this is caused by the sun's reflection into the car seat. Thank God I made a 2-second stop and found this before something happened.
It's this hot outside, the most unexpected things can become a fire hazard. Ashley showing us something you may never have thought would be dangerous.
I have several of them on me at any given time, in my purse, in my hand, but a water bottle left in a car in the heat, that can be a problem.
Happened to notice some smoke out of the corner of my eye.
In Idaho, this worker at an energy company saw smoke around his center console.
Looked over and noticed that light was being refracted through a water bottle and was starting to catch the seat on fire.
It's wild to think about.
Burn those 2 spots in the seat right there.
The water bottle acts like a magnifying glass for the sunlight, making the rays and the heat more intense.
Water bottle was set exactly like that. Light was just shining through the driver's side window.
And now firefighters have a warning for everyone. Although the risk is low, extreme heat from a water bottle can cause a fire and combustion. So best if you take your water bottle with you when you get out of the car.
Go.
This is London's latest hotspot. In the middle of the city's bustling heart, a bizarre beam of light radiates onto the street. Powerful, dazzling, and searingly hot. The cause of this phenomenon? This 37-story tower. Once known as the walkie-talkie, it's been renamed as the walkie-scorchy. The half-built building's curved construction has had an unfortunate effect.
If you look up, you can see that it's curved. And so
That's a vast area up there, and it's collecting a lot of solar energy. Now, if that was to go out in all directions, it wouldn't really matter. But it's focusing down onto a point, and it's focusing down here. So all that solar energy is getting pushed down here, and the temperatures down there are getting really, really high.
So high it managed to record a temperature of an astonishing 92.6 degrees Celsius. Well, the sun has started to come out and it's already hitting the building behind me, and already you can feel quite an intense heat here. Anything in the direct glare of the reflection can literally go up in smoke. It damaged this car parked nearby. It's caused carpets to smolder, tiles to smash. It's so hot you can even fry an egg and singe your hair trying.
Ah, it's hot. Just as you march through, you really feel the heat. It's quite intense.
Guess where's you coming through?
The tan.
No, he'll get you stay all afternoon.
Yeah, it is quite hot here, yes.
The designers say the problem is the current elevation of the sun. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, weather permitting, it will shine directly onto the building. While they say they're working on the problem, the worst of it lasts for just 2 hours, and it's during one of the busiest times in the day, lunchtime. It's certainly too much for Londoners used to murkier climes. Best to keep calm and keep covered. Sonia Gallego, Al Jazeera, London.
Cool.
A brush fire started by a window. Tonight calls for action from scared homeowners. It's a new and yes, frightening development in a WRAL investigation that already prompted a change in the state building code.
Tonight, 5 on your side's Monica La Liberty is here with the video that significantly raises the level of concern. Monica.
This is something. 4 fires in a week at one home, 2 at another right here in North Carolina. We've learned of another fire in Boston, all believed to be started by what are called low-E glass windows. The energy-efficient windows are required in all new construction and have been for years.
Flames racing across a yard and around, of all things, a propane tank. The homeowner's security cameras recorded it all. First, you see the smoke in this time lapse, then the growing flames. They spread for at least 20 minutes before help arrived. A landscape crew working nearby tried to trample the flames that surrounded the propane.
My legs were shaking. My neighbors were shaking.
Adding to her fear, that day, investigators told Nancy Monda it appeared the fire at her Davie County home was possibly arson. 2 days later, another fire in the same location. Investigators poked around. One suddenly felt a clue.
And I want to say it went across their forehead because it'll hit right here and ouch.
It was the sunlight reflected from the neighbor's brand new energy-efficient low-E window. The firefighter's report describes the reflection as so intense you couldn't hold your hand in it for more than 30 seconds before it felt like it was burning.
Dead tree from yesterday. Smoking again.
This smoldering mulch is at another home.
It was, the burning bush.
Patrick Heinzelman recorded it a day after the sun's reflection from this window in his own house ignited his yard.
And it literally was in flames. I mean, 4 feet high above the tree, literally engulfed.
He spent $800 to tint the window, but the beam still reflects. He's worried for his family.
I went out and bought for every room one of these instant sprays or fire extinguishers. I had a couple in the house, but now every room has it just in case.
Monda is just as concerned. She had that propane tank removed, cleared out the pine straw, and started an admittedly bizarre, but what she calls necessary, daily routine.
I come out and hose this down, and then I start laying my mirrors.
Mirrors to reflect that beam that is so hot, it cracked the glass and melted the frames.
Not very sightly, but I'm desperate at this point.
We've reported on the issue for years. Reflections are strongest from south-facing windows in late fall, winter, and early spring when the sun is at a low angle.
And it was pretty unbelievable.
Beams melted plastic on cars and vinyl siding on homes, state, and nationwide. After our investigation, the North Carolina Building Code was changed to allow builders to swap out problem windows.
Wow.
We took the video of the burning yards to our state's top fire safety expert.
Get away from the propane tank. That's scary.
North Carolina Insurance Commissioner and Fire Marshal Mike Causey.
We're concerned from a fire safety standpoint, but there's just a lot of variables a lot of questions we need to have answers before we could make recommendations.
Causey questioned whether the building and glass industry could make changes to prevent the dangerous rays. As for an immediate fix, that code change.
Or just maybe swap out the windows when they know it's a problem?
Exactly. That would be a simple solution.
We also took the concerns to the Window and Door Manufacturers Association. Spokesman Jeff Inks emailed saying only the association is not aware of any research or studies being done out of concern low-E windows pose a fire risk. Patrick Heinzelman's builder initially told him the problem was not covered by his homeowner warranty. After we got involved, they agreed to add a solar screen to refract sunlight.
I don't know what to do.
Nancy Monda didn't get anywhere with her neighbor until I reached out to him. He now says he will replace the window in question. Solutions for these homes, but Heinzelman and Monda both see this as a much bigger issue.
If this was a car, a baby blanket, anything like that caught on fire, there'd be a recall. Melting vinyl and melting car parts is one thing, but when you are starting fires, somebody truly needs to do something about this.
Now, we also reached out to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and even though there is a risk of fire here and consumer danger, a spokeswoman told us this is a building code issue, not an issue for the CPSC. Fire Marshal Mike Causey says his office wants to hear from any homeowners who have fires or think there was some sort of issue like that.
Is it expensive to change these windows out?
Hundreds or thousands maybe in some of these newer homes, these big windows. I mean, windows are not cheap. And I think that's what it boils down to for most people is it's everybody pointing fingers on who should have to pay for
So it sounds like no one wants to pay, but if it happens to you, you do not want this danger there, obviously.
Right, and that's why Heinzelman, he was willing to take on the cost. It's his house, but you can't make your neighbor pay.
Well, that's amazing.
It's frightening to see that video of the fire.
It's very scary. I think this is going to be an issue we're going to be hearing a lot more about.
Monica, thank you.
Okay, play one.
And about a fire that destroyed a home in Lake Oswego. That house went up in flames last night, but investigators say it started long before anyone knew it. Belina Jones live in that neighborhood on Southwest Oriole Lane with what investigators are learning today. What did they tell you, Belina?
Well, Jeff, the fire marshal tells me that fire was likely smoldering for at least a day before flames overtook this house behind me. You can see the flames went up fast, taking this house and completely destroying it. Smoke billowing into the air, flames overtaking this Lake Oswego home. The glow leaving neighbors in shock.
I noticed some flames going on in my rearview mirror, and had to take a second look, and I was like, whoa, that house is on fire.
Lee J. Robles lives nearby. He went door to door warning others.
Saw the trees probably in their backyard that were just engulfed in flames as well.
The flames spread to the outside of the home next door, even causing a chimney to collapse onto Norm Burns' home.
I feel terrible for him. I feel absolutely blessed that I dodged a major bullet.
Investigators tell me they believe the fire started smoldering in a wall behind the fireplace Sunday when it was last used. They suspect the fireplace was used for larger fires than the structure could stand and wore down materials around the chimney over time.
We think that when the homeowner left, he created enough air with the door opening that it started the fire actually going, and then when he came back and opened the door, gave a rush of air that made the fire really accelerate faster.
While this isn't too common, firefighters say there are things you can do to try to prevent this from happening to you.
Bigger fireplaces tend to, people think that they can add more wood to it. So that would be the kind of the safety is like, besides not having a big fire in your fireplace, checking the chimneys before you start for the season.
Now the man who lives inside of this house saw the flames from outside and tried to rescue his puppy inside but couldn't get to him in time. His dog has not been found. No one else was injured. Reporting live in Lake Oswego, Valina Jones, KOIN 6 News.
All right, Valina, thank you.